we are making good advancement, and we're definitely taking down Hamas one by one, but it's a very long process. It will take time.
How would you rate the success of the Israeli response to Hamas so far?
We are still in the early stages, and war is a very difficult thing. And, every day is very concerning. We have hundreds of people being held kidnapped there. So this also makes a different factor in the way we have to operate. We also operate as cautiously as we can. So we are making good advancement, and we're definitely taking down Hamas one by one, but it's a very long process. It will take time. I am aware of certain criticism heard in different parts of the world. As someone who's been as a reserve officer in the rooms where you actually see when you choose to abort or to attack a terrorist, I know how many times we choose to abort in order to avoid arming gun involved. I urge any other country to say what would they be doing otherwise with this hospital. We are now this morning, by the way, providing incubators for the Shifa hospital in order to transfer the remaining patients down to the southern part of the Gaza Strip. I can't imagine a lot of military forces standing around the hospital and assisting it for days and days while being targets for terrorists all around. So we are doing the best we can.
Okay, Idan, two questions arise from what you just said. The first of all, you say you're providing incubators. I mean, is this an offer of incubators that hasn't been accepted yet, or have they been accepted?
To the best of my knowledge, it has been accepted, and we are also working with the international community in order to provide and to urge them to provide as many field hospitals as possible in the southern part. Look, we understand the complexity of it all, but we urged the people of Gaza to move south in order for them not to be caught in crossfire with the terrorists of Hamas.
Okay.
This jeopardizes our soldiers, but we always do what is right according to international law. It is a very complicated task to fight a terror organization with tools and morals of the Western world.
What I don't understand is you say that you told everyone to evacuate, and that's true, you did. However, I wonder if you can understand that there are many people who I suppose are prepared to risk death rather than become homeless or stateless. They'll just be kind of wandering around. They're concerned that they will become refugees in their own land for who knows how many years. And also earlier on, you said that that you've been in the room when these missions have been aborted because of the safety of civilians, for example. But ultimately, you want to eliminate Hamas, and everyone understands why you want to after what happened. If there is a Hamas commander or someone important in Hamas in a hospital, for example, and there are civilians and people who are very injured and newborn babies there as well, what is the likely answer or course of action there? Presumably, you're not going to let that guy go, are you? You're going to drop a bomb on it.
You're asking somewhat of a supposedly hypothetical question, but unfortunately it's not. At the moment, we know that the biggest headquarters of Hamas are underneath the Shifa hospital. We know that thousands and thousands of Gazans were held as human shields and were withheld from leaving by Hamas terrorists. And we've been standing outside, also communicating with the manager of the hospital for days now in order to ensure the safe evacuation of patients. It has been going for many, many days. The evacuation of the northern part of the strip has been going on for weeks now. So it's not a hypothetical question. We could have bombed it and made sure that we took down the commanders of Hamas and all of those terrorists, but we always choose the more complicated way, which also is a threat to our people and our brave soldiers, in order to abide the international law. You just asked what is going on at the moment in the Gaza Strip, and we choose at this moment, time and time again, to do what is right, but what is also jeopardizing,
of course, but Idan,
the productivity of our attack.
I understand that,
down Hamas.
But Idan, you say that, and I'm listening to what you have to say. But there'll be people saying right now, listening to this radio, saying, you say you're very careful, and yet up to 11,000 people are said to have died.
I ask you, what would you do differently when you have all these people being held and Hamas is preventing them from evacuating? And when you have missiles launchers inside hospitals, when we now know that the hostages, the Israeli hostages, including babies, were held in the basement of that hospital, in Lantisi hospital, what can we do otherwise? I can assure you that we are doing everything any army can and would do, and more, and even more, in order to prevent any casualties by uninvolved. But war, especially when fighting terror, is a very messy thing. It's not a hypothetical thing.
No,
it's something that needs to be
Idan, well, listen, of course, we're running out of time, and I do want to ask you, you're former Israeli Deputy Foreign Minister. What do you make of how Benjamin Netanyahu has handled this whole situation? And when this is over, what would his role be, if anything?
I'm doing something at the moment that is very unnatural for politicians. I'm putting politics aside, and this is something, again, that Israel has been doing altogether. It sounds a bit odd, maybe, for the outside spectator, but Israel is united now in fighting Hamas. We have babies over there held hostage, and we're trying to get them back. And we have our sons and our families fighting. So everything that concerns me at the moment is how this war can function in the best way possible.
Right.
The day we strike down Hamas, this will be a time for the politics to reconvene and reach decisions. But at the moment, as a country fighting for its future, that is a privilege that we don't want and don't have.